Jamie Dornan never expected that one simple moment, just a glance exchanged across a crowded room, would ignite an entire storm in Hollywood. But that night, as he and Dakota Johnson found themselves standing side by side at an event, their chemistry felt so natural, so effortless, that even people Zun Quan Ho Phi Im Lang Quan sat. Something was different, something had shifted, and it didn't take long for the world to notice. For years, Hollywood had whispered about Jamie and Dakota, but most believed Du Kai La Su than Thiet Du Dien Chung. They were partners on set, friends off-screen, companions through intense filming schedules and exhausting press tours. Yet somehow, this time, An Mat Kua Ho Kong Konjiang An Mat Kua Hai Noi Ban. It carried a depth that neither camera nor Noi Tu Fu Nhan Duok. When they first met on the set of 50 Shades of Grey, Kong I Gi Ho Se Zay Dung Connection Sao Sak Nu Vei. Jamie was calm, grounded, and always careful with his emotions, while Dakota was unpredictable, playful, and full of life. But despite their differences, or perhaps because of them, they found a strange, powerful harmony. They made each other better, braver, more open. Behind the scenes, their moments together often captured more attention than the scenes filmed in front of the camera. Jamie would instinctively pull Dakota aside to make sure she was comfortable before a difficult scene. Dakota, meanwhile, had a way of touching Jamie's shoulder lightly when she laughed, as if that tiny gesture grounded her. Crew members said they were inseparable, always huddled together, whispering jokes no one else could hear. Each interview they did together became a treasure trove of clues. Jamie often stared at Dakota longer than necessary, waiting for her reactions, smiling at her jokes even before she finished them. Dakota, on the other hand, would glance at him for reassurance before answering delicate questions. Their bond was visible. It was warm, intimate, and undeniable. As rumors swirled, the two always denied everything. Just friends, they insisted, even when the world pointed out the clear signs. The way Jamie shielded Dakota from overwhelming crowds, or the way Dakota visibly relaxed Moi Ki An I Dung Ben Gun. Hollywood doesn't miss details, and fans especially don't. The whispers grew louder, deeper, bolder. Then came the footage that changed everything. An old behind-the-scenes video resurfaced, showing Jamie brushing a fallen strand of hair behind Dakota's ear in a Wei Kwa Ni Nong de la Su Niep. The moment lasted less than 2 seconds, but no du de gay bao tren mang zay hoi. People insisted that no married man would touch another woman with that kind of tenderness. True ki ko dugi do that su tun tai. Their recent appearance together only fueled the flames further. At a red carpet event, Dakota seemed to glow unusually bright whenever Jamie looked her way. There was a softness in his eyes, a lingering admiration in her smile. Photographers captured everything, and the internet replayed Tung Kai Chom Mat Hang Nin Lan. No one could deny the shift. Jamie rarely spoke about his personal life, especially when it came to his wife, Amelia. But lately, fans noticed he avoided mentioning Amelia altogether whenever Dakota came up in interviews. Some called it coincidence, others called it a sign. Hollywood, as always, chose the more dramatic interpretation. Dakota hasn't helped calm the rumors either. In a recent interview, she said something that set the internet ablaze. Some people come into your life and you just understand them instantly. You don't have to explain anything. They just get you. And she said it while smiling softly, right after Jamie's name was mentioned. Fans quickly split into two camps. One side defended their bond as pure friendship born from intense years of working together. The other side insisted Tin Cam Ne Kong Phi Kiu, friendship, Bin Thuong. Social media exploded with edits, comparisons, and timelines analyzing every touch, every smile, every glance. By now, the question isn't whether something is happening, it's whether it has been happening for far longer than the world realized. The signs were always there, hidden in the silent language of two people who never needed words to communicate. The energy between them was growing, shifting, transforming into something deeper. Hollywood is now left wondering, is this the moment when years of speculation finally turn into a truth too powerful to hide? Hollywood has always loved a good mystery, but few stories have captured the industry's full attention the way Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson just did. After years of subtle gestures and unspoken signals, new moments began surfacing. Moments that made even the biggest skeptics stop and reevaluate everything they thought they knew. What once looked like mere friendship now carried a weight, a heat, a tenderness that felt unmistakably different. The first spark of renewed chaos came from an event where Jamie was seen guiding Dakota through a chaotic crowd. But it wasn't the act itself that shocked people. It was the way he placed his hand on her back, firm yet gentle, protective in a way that felt deeply personal. Dakota leaned into him effortlessly, as if she had done so 1,000 times before. Fans dissected the moment frame by frame, arguing that this was no longer just comfort. It was connection. Then came Dakota's interview that turned the internet upside down. When asked which actor had impacted her the most emotionally, she paused longer than expected. Her eyes softened, her lips curled into a private smile, and she whispered Jamie's name. She didn't elaborate. She didn't need to. The silence that followed spoke louder than any explanation she could have given. People replayed the clip endlessly, analyzing the micro-expressions that hinted at feelings too real to hide. Insiders from their old film crew eventually stepped forward, offering cryptic comments that only intensified the frenzy. One member said, "What they had wasn't normal co-star energy. They understood each other on a level most people never do." Another added, "There were moments when we all stepped back because it felt intimate." These statements didn't confirm anything outright, but they didn't deny it either. And in Hollywood, that's enough to start a fire. Of course, when a story grows this big, reactions come fast, and not all of them kind. Some fans cheered loudly, claiming they had sensed this bond from the very beginning. Others were furious, calling it betrayal and accusing them of crossing lines no one should cross. Social media turned into a battlefield, with every gesture, glance, and comment being scrutinized under a merciless spotlight. In the middle of all this chaos stood Amelia Warner, Jamie's wife, who suddenly found herself dragged into a storm she never asked for. Fans noticed she had become quieter on social platforms. Some claimed she removed certain pictures. Others argued she looked distant in recent appearances. Paparazzi captured her leaving a cafe with an unreadable expression, and tabloids twisted the moment into headlines predicting marital collapse. Whether any of it was true didn't matter. Hollywood was hungry for drama, and Amelia became part of the narrative without speaking a single word. Meanwhile, Dakota continued to add fuel without even trying. She praised Jamie in several interviews, calling him the kindest soul, and someone who always made me feel safe. Those words sounded innocent, but when placed against the backdrop of rising rumors, chung tro nen bung no. Fans insisted her tone was too affectionate, too nostalgic, too personal for a simple co-star relationship. And perhaps they were right. Industry analysts began comparing their dynamic to famous Hollywood duos who started as friends and eventually fell in love. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes. Intense roles create emotional shortcuts, one expert explained. When two actors trust each other deeply on set, it can bleed into real life. Suddenly, Jamie and Dakota were no longer just a pair of celebrities. They were the newest case study of whether art truly imitates life. Everything reached its peak when a new photograph surfaced, one that no one was prepared for. Jamie was seen looking at Dakota with an expression so full of warmth and admiration that fans instantly labeled it the moment that changed everything. Dakota, unaware she was being watched, smiled in a way that only someone utterly comfortable with him could smile. It wasn't romantic in an obvious way. It was something softer, something deeper, something that suggested years of trust quietly growing into something else. The photo spread everywhere within hours. Fans declared it the final proof. Tabloids wrote headlines predicting a seismic shift in Hollywood. Critics debated boundaries, emotions, and the uncontrollable nature of human connection. And through it all, Jamie and Dakota stayed silent, neither confirming nor denying, just letting the world draw its own conclusions. Maybe that's the true shock of this entire story. The idea that somewhere between friendship and love, between script and reality, a bond formed that no one can fully explain. A bond that refuses to fade, no matter how many years pass. A bond that feels too powerful, too natural, too honest to be dismissed as coincidence. And now, Hollywood is left holding its breath, waiting for the moment when the truth, whatever it is, finally steps into the light.